Dave Scott, Hub Media. I'm really lucky today. I get to hang out with Karen and Darlene, who are in charge of the Walk With Me project. Last year, you guys allowed me to get involved, and I really appreciate it. What you do is amazing. First of all, let's tell the folks what the Walk With Me project is and what it's about.
Go for it. Okay, so we'll probably get into how it came about later, but what it is we've chosen to use dog portraits specifically as a way of creating a fund source, so a fundraiser for community events that will focus around mental health. So primarily, as far as the dog portraits are concerned, originally it's for creating open communication where people can talk more freely about what's happening in the mental health world, both for themselves and their families. But also as the pictures get shared and as funds come in, last year we were able to do our first public event where we brought in speakers to speak to the community about mental health and some of the aspects of care and how to access those services. So the big premise behind it is basically opening up communication for mental health and using our dogs to do that.
Cool.
Through portraiture.
And Karen, when is it this year, and where is it going to be held?
So we are looking at the weekends of July 12th and 13th and July 26th and 27th. And we will be booking appointments for those days. And the photo sessions take place at our store, Dorks and Country Store in Port Rowan.
And if I wanted to book, do I call you, or what would be the easiest way to set that up?
Calling probably would be easiest. That's 519-586-3901. But we also would accept emails at dorksandcountrystore. No, that's my website. dorksandcountry@eastlink.ca. That's where we are.
I'll get you to send that to me, and we'll put it up at the bottom of the page for the folks.
All right.
It's funny, all those emails anymore in our minds.
Oh, it's all there. And we are also on Facebook and Instagram, so you can message us through that.
Messenger is great. Yeah.
And you guys are great because the Canine Cuties in the Hub, you guys sponsor that. And it's all the portraits that you took, Darlene, with your business, which is tell the people about what you do.
I do story photography here in Port Rowan. Generally, it's family portraiture. I also do artwork as well. And a lot of my artwork has focused around different topics of mental health, to the point where some people think that maybe I need therapy for some of the creations I come up with. But again, it's a matter of using the creative outlet to be able to portray different perspectives on mental health. And one of the biggest compliments that I have had is when people look at the artwork and say, how did you know how it felt? And that also speaks to the fact that many people who deal with mental health feel like they're alone, feel like nobody understands them. And that's not necessarily the case. It's just that they haven't found the people to connect with. So artwork is a great way to do that. And I'm able to do that through story photography.
I have to admit, I've seen your work. You showed it to me, and I've only met one other person so far that I felt can reach in and pull an impression and put it the way you guys do. And it's like, when I saw your stuff, it is kind of mind-blowing. Like, it really makes you think, right? And I like that. And I've met one other person off air, I'll tell you about that, and it's just like, wow, it's incredible. And we got to really appreciate that when you're able to go that deep. And I know we're off topic a bit here, but I do appreciate that you can take that and find those moments. And it's something I find in my writing, and I think everybody needs to find that outlet, because it really helps you in all aspects of your life.
Yes, agreed.
All right, let's talk about why you do it. I mean, Karen, your background, you've shared it with me, and I hope you'll share it again. Like, this is important, folks. This is where I don't think people realize how animals help us.
No, that's right. If you have a pet of any sort, not necessarily just a dog, they can sense when you are feeling off, when you're feeling down, and they will just unconditionally come up and cuddle with you, or they'll help pull you out of it, demand some attention, to get outside, take me for a walk, that sort of thing. And when something big and traumatic has happened in your life, it is very comforting to have someone beside you to give you comfort. And that's why Darlene chose dogs with this, is just because they do have that comfort factor. I got involved because 10 years ago, my husband died by suicide. And Darlene and I have known each other forever, but we've really connected after that. And she's helped me a lot through a lot of different things. And, being willing to openly share, openly talk makes a lot of difference to a lot of people because they do feel so alone. They want to be able to share, but they don't know how.
So with the project and like that reference point, when folks are coming in to have the portraits, these are some of these folks have, have struggled with trauma and they're coming to support you guys in this. It opens the door, doesn't it, for a conversation?
Yeah,
absolutely. So when I'm taking the pictures, it's actually quite astonishing how many people will, you're engaging with the animal and you're doing your thing, and it's actually very quick and very it's kind of a fast pace, but then they'll throw out these little comments. It's like, my aunt experienced this, or my son is going through this, and it allows in a very casual way to talk about some of these things that's not threatening, because they're not coming to you for therapy. They're not coming to you as a burden. They're coming to you as far as, this is part of my story and this is why I want to support your project, because I see the value of coming alongside. And that's, again, one of the reasons why we chose dog portraits, is because dogs do just come alongside without, we've talked about this before, they're not trying to fix you. They're not trying to change you. They're coming alongside you, and that's it. And sometimes that's all we need. And just having the people come in and have their dog portraits taken, it is absolutely astonishing how many people have a story, either of themselves or a family member or a friend. And that is a big part of why we do this too, is to be able to engage in those conversations that aren't threatening, that aren't oh, what's wrong with you? Why can't you just suck it up? And so many times we hear, well, back in the day we were just told to get over it. And it's not the same. It's not the same now as it was back in the day. And back in the day, there wasn't a place where conversations could happen, and there were more negative outcomes. So we're happy to have those conversations. We're very surprised at how many there are, which just solidifies the fact that, we could have stopped this a couple years ago, had a couple good runs at it. And it's like, you know what? No, we're going to keep going. So you had asked me originally, how many dogs have we had and how many are we expecting to have? We'll take as many as we can, whether it's 5 or whether it's 50. We're averaging around the 40 mark, between 40 to 45 per year that will come in. And then of course you always have the latecomers. It's like, oh, I forgot it was on, and well, no, we can do it next year. But we average around the 40 to 45. But honestly, it's more about having that engagement and having that opportunity to speak.
And I always think too, when I go if I've had not a great day and I go for a long walk with my dog and I'm literally talking it out.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And you don't have to worry about somebody cutting you off or cutting you up, or
No, that's right.
They're just, until there's a squirrel. But other than that, they're fine, right?
Yeah.
But I
That's
think
right.
that's
They're
part of
just
it.
listening.
Yes.
They're not critiquing.
They're not judging. They're
Yeah.
not judging. They're.
Yep.
I do have a question though, because you say it's canine cuties, and then you threw me a curve, and we got this wonderful picture of a duck. Can you elaborate on the duck story? Because I know about it, and I think that'd be, if you don't mind sharing, if you can. I thought it was really cool.
I believe she would be okay with us sharing. She is very open with her story. The lady who had come to the store that day she had not a rescue duck, but a duck that had a physical disability at that time, and she was rehabbing it. And she came into the store with the duck. Karen's always very open about bring your animals.
Yes. We welcome dogs all the time.
Dogs are in, had a couple cats off and on, and then this duck comes in, and it's not a surprise here.
Yeah. No.
But I happened to be shooting the dogs outside at the time, and Karen said, you need to go talk to Darlene. And so this woman came outside and she says, so I'm supposed to come out and talk to you. What are you doing? And I started to tell her what we were doing and how it paralleled to mental health, and how we wanted to bring awareness and open conversations, and using the dog portraits to do that. And she started to tear up, and she said, I was supposed to be here today because my sister was one that suffered from this and had a negative outcome from this. Would you take a photo of my duck? And I said, absolutely, I will take a photo of your duck. And so Lucky had her pictures done that day, and Lucky has thrived. And there again, when you're choosing to accept rehab, even as an animal or as a person, when you're choosing to allow that, good outcomes can come of it. Even though this duck was born with a disability, was born with an inconvenience, born with something that compromised her life, somebody who wrapped their wings around the duck was able to come alongside and help that duck live its full potential, even with what it had. And I believe it's still doing well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. As far as I know, it is. Yeah.
so there again, just that example that animals give us is profound.
I love that. And I got to ask, because I remember as a kid, I hated my picture taken. Was there any divas? Do you have divas that show up?
We have divas. Yeah. So we had one that was the owner had to bring in peppers because that was the only treat. We use treats. It's positive reinforcement,
Yep.
and we had to she had to bring peppers because this dog was completely allergic to everything,
Yep.
including the air, so to speak. So there are divas like that. It's amazing what a stranger can get away with. There again, life lessons are all over the place. It's amazing what I can get, like, because people will say, oh, this dog will never behave. They'll never sit for you. They'll never, this is just not going to happen. And, aside from sounding arrogant, it's not, but it's like, just watch me. And it's engaging. It's having that eye contact. It's having a little bit of that reinforcement, but it's that curiosity that both people and animals are born. It's like, what is she doing? Why is she doing this? And all of a sudden you've got this amazing picture and like, how did you do that? And it's like, it's so natural, but sometimes it takes somebody that's not firsthand with them, that they live with, to get that outcome. And there again, we think that sometimes we are the best people to help our family members, and sometimes we're not. Sometimes it takes somebody from outside the family to come in, whether that be a therapist or a friend or mentor, to be able to engage and start that progression towards healing versus just a family member.
What do you say? I mean, with humans, you always say cheese. What do you say to the dogs?
Nothing. Nothing.
Squeakers and
Squeakers.
Oh,
Yeah.
squeakers. I never even thought.
There's a very high pitch that you do, and it's like,
They
what was
get
that?
their attention and away they go.
So but treats are great, and just catching that attention coming. I'm going to use it with your camera. You come right up close, and then you slowly drop back. It's like, when is she going to drop it? And then they're watching, right? And then all of a sudden, you've got the picture.
And folks must love it. I mean,
they do.
I mean, you never really think about taking a photo of your dog. I mean, we got camera phones and all that. We can do it whenever. But to actually have a portrait of your dog, just right. You don't get it. You don't get it. It's like, he's looking himself, click, right? You're wrong picture.
That's right. We use a professional backdrop as well. So there's a covered porch here at the mill, and so I set up underneath the porch, and so they're up a little higher, and then I'm on the driveway level. So they're kind of at eye level with me, and then they've got the professional grade backdrop right there, and so it's actually comes out quite nice.
It's amazing. So give that information out again. I've got the phone number, 519-586-3901. Call, and you got a book.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. We do try, and this is one thing that we have had questions of, what if there's other dogs around? It's like, we book enough time in between so that they're not going to be distracted by another animal, so that time is yours specifically, and they're able to have that time without having the interaction or the distraction or with another animal.
And you're taking me down another road, because now I'm kind of curious, because I did a story a number of years ago on horse therapy, like when folks go and hang out with horses, and I was blown away. I really honestly going in, I thought I didn't take it serious. I did my homework and I'm like, nah, this can't be. And then I was like, oh my goodness, like that horse went right through me, right?
Yeah.
And
you can't lie to an animal. You can't.
Yeah, exactly. And they see you for what you are, which maybe a lot of people won't like, but that's the truth of the matter. But I think there's so much more we have to discover down the road and what animals offer to us. And I think that's what you guys are doing is amazing. And how many years is this? Do you guys mind me asking?
4.
Those will be 4.
This will be year 4.
4 years. So
Yeah.
folks, I got to tell you, come hang out with these guys in Port Rowan and get your doggy photo done. Book your spot early because they'll fill up. And
so in the process, we'll just get on with the process of that as well. We do take a donation.
Yes.
We haven't talked about the actual dollar amount, whether there will be some sort of we have in the past taken a certain specific dollar amount, and that gets directly donated to a cause, whether it be CAMH or Canadian Mental Health. DMHA.
Yeah.
There's a number of different places that we've been able to. Last year, we actually had them choose. So some of them went into Service Dogs of Ontario.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So there's a number of different places that we haven't really decided how that's going to work this year, or whether we will use all of the donated funds towards an event. We did have an event last year where we spoke to the community. We had a couple professionals come in and speak to the community specifically.
And it was a free event.
It was a free event,
Yes.
Which will continue to be a free event, but we'd love to blow it up. So we may choose we'll still be deciding that. We may choose to take the donations towards the guest speakers and bring more of a solidified grouping of supports to speak to the community about mental health. So
opening that door, like in your neighborhood, so people can come to an event like that, it brings it home, doesn't it? Because it's not the big entities, and there's nothing wrong. They do unbelievable work. But when it's in your own backyard and it's your own neighbors, it's a different feel.
We really didn't know what to expect when we did this. And we had, I think, around 40 people come.
Mm-hmm.
And the conversation that evolved that afternoon was absolutely amazing. Because it stayed, everybody in the room was comfortable with the other people because they knew everyone was like-minded. And people were confessing problems that they hadn't felt free to confess to anybody else. Yeah.
And it's
the other thing is that we didn't confine it to, if you're having issues, come talk to us, to this event or whatever. It was more of this is an educational event, which we want to support each other. So if you are struggling yourself, if you know of somebody that's struggling, if you just want to learn more. So we had all the different groupings included in that so that nobody felt out of place. But in that safe environment, we had some pretty incredible stories come out. Yeah.
And that's all about, it's starting the conversation in your community. Right?
Opportunity.
That's what you guys have been doing, and that's incredible for the last 4 years. So folks, do go get your doggy portrait done. If you have another animal, surprise them with it for me and see how they react. I want to see.
I want a pony to come in this year.
He wants a pony.
Yeah, no, we had a request for mini ponies, but I'd have to take my back truck to her. So we're probably going to be doing that.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe a little piggy.
Oh, I could arrange that. I know of some that just were born.
We can sort of expand this horizon.
Good plan.
Right? Because they all do the same job, don't they? Like what you said earlier.
They do. They lighten the mood.
Yeah.
A positive distraction is not a bad thing.
No, it isn't. And I think the thing I think we forget about our pets is we take care of them as well. It's a give and take relationship, and as long as you're showing them love and support, they're right there for you. It seems like they're always right there for you. So, and they pick up on when you're feeling it, like you said earlier, just to reiterate that when you feel down or you had a bad day or you're ill, they pick up on it so quickly, and they're the first ones there, right? But this is what you guys are doing. Again, walk with me. I love this. So we're gonna get this information out for all the folks, and I'll take you back so that we can, have a wrap up and see how it went. Okay, ladies.
Sounds good. Thanks, Dave.
Oh, thank you.
We appreciate your support too.
Oh, anytime. Take care.
Thanks.